Hello, everyone, and welcome to Faith in an Ever Changing World Encouragement and Hope Faith Story. And today I have with me Barry Alsobrook. And Barry, photography has been a passion of his since he was a young child. He worked for a large international photography company as a district manager for many years, and then started his own business providing photography service to a large children's department store chain. The last 20 years, he's done event photography, including photo booths. And several years ago, he became interested in film and decided to pursue a degree in video production. He received an associate's degree from St. Pete College in 2014, and during the last few years, he's worked on several independent films, church projects, commercials, music videos, and live productions. In recent years, he's become acquainted with many people in the faith-based film industry. And during the pandemic in 2020, God gave him the vision for the Taken Network in a dream. And within 2 months, it was up and running. Now God has opened the door to an even larger project that will reach thousands of households for Christ. Win TV will be a streaming service that will host 100 or more channels of Christian and family entertainment to provide a good alternative to the secular channels. Oh, that's awesome, Barry. And it's such a pleasure to have you with me this morning. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. First of all, if you will, Barry, please share your faith story with us.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll start at the beginning. I was actually born in Atlanta, Georgia, and my parents moved to the small town that my dad was from, Dallas, Georgia. It was about 40 minutes outside of Atlanta when I was very small. And it was a very rough years for me. My parents both were very abusive toward each other. And it was a real tough time, you know. And I had a younger sister who doesn't remember a lot of that, but I do. And of course, my parents divorced when I was 6, and Mom moved us to Florida, to St. Petersburg. And that's when the tumultuous time started in my family. And between my parents, they were constantly battling each other over custody and not really working it out in the court system. But so my mother had us, and then my father took us and would hide us from my mother for a year or so at a time. And then of course, when my mother had it was bad.
Very.
And then when my mother would have a chance to visit or whatever, when he would finally allow it, then she would take us and bring us back to Florida and hide us in for him for a year or so. And
my goodness,
names, never went to the same school more than 3 or 4 months. Never had friends, never really had friends growing up because I was constantly moving. We moved all over Florida. We lived in Tampa, St. Pete, Miami, Jacksonville. So we moved constantly over Florida because we were running. We were on the run. You know, we even changed our names a couple of times to avoid my father taking us. But then he did. And so we were with him again for a few years. And then again, the same thing happened. And Mom took us. And so that went on until I was about 13 years old, back and forth. No real stability in my life or in my sister's life at the time. And but finally around 13, that kind of ended and things kind of got back, I guess, single mom, but normal, I guess. But then my mother's health went bad, you know, started going downhill. I was 16, 17. So I actually, as a young man, started taking care of my mother and my brother for a long time financially. And so I did that for a long time, for many years. My mother lived with me for, you know, up until, you know, for quite a while. And then I met my wonderful wife, Laura, in Atlanta, taking a corporate job there and working for the photography company. She actually worked as a makeup artist with me in the company. And so we joined together and started our own photography company and specializing in children's photography. We had a trademark name, Hollywood Kids, and we did we actually started doing kids, kind of like kids glamour sort of thing, before
Uh-huh.
glamour shots or anything started doing that.
Oh,
They actually copied that from us. They were actually in our studio one time, taking notes and everything, and then 6 months later they were doing the same thing. So we it was hard to compete against that, and so we stopped doing that, moved back to Florida, and started doing event photography, weddings and corporate events, that sort of stuff, and um, just doing any type of thing like that. And
sure.
then we incorporated photo booths into our business. And recently, during the pandemic, God gave me just woke me up kind of in the middle of the night, and
Mm,
just had me on the couch at 3 o'clock in
he
the morning.
does that.
Yes,
He
yes, yes,
does that.
yes. He did that. It's like I couldn't sleep. I just kept seeing these
Yeah.
things in my head, and they were so
Uh-huh.
strong. So I'm taking notes at 3 o'clock in the morning, and writing down TV shows and all these ideas.
Mm,
Now I did have the idea for a TV show, just kind of an idea floating around in my head. Some ideas that I
yeah.
had seen from past things, and some stuff that my church was doing. I had come up with an idea how to combine these two things together and make a and make something that just would be really awesome for the for people to see, about how the church helps people. And it's called The
Uh-huh.
Hands and Feet of Jesus. And
Mhm.
matter of fact, we just shot a pilot episode of the show. Host John Nicholas. He has
Yeah.
been doing interviews in the past for us, celebrity interviews type of thing.
Mhm.
But this is kind of a
Mhm.
total different direction for the show. But this is where the show was really
Okay.
supposed to go in the first place. But easy way to explain that is, if you remember the show Extreme Makeover from years ago, where
Uh-huh.
they
Yeah.
went out and rebuilt houses and helped people. Well,
Right.
this is kind of is what we want to do with this show, is kind of from a Christian standpoint, is actually help individual families in need. So we bring different ministries.
Wonderful.
We bring
Yeah.
different ministries in. It's like John's the coordinator, and he coordinates the activities to bring in possibly, if a person is having issues with needing food, then we bring in, like a place that can provide, a ministry that provides food. If a person
Right.
needs housing, we provide a ministry that provides housing or whatever they might need. In our pilot episode, we have a fictitious family, because
Uh-huh.
we don't have the funds yet to do it for real. So we made up a fictitious family to where a dad had been in the military, came out of the military, lifelong dream was to serve as a police officer, serve his community. But a week
Right.
before he goes into police training, he gets killed on a motorcycle accident. So,
Oh.
so we have a mother in desperate need of food for her
Yeah.
family, because she's not worked outside of the home. Um, so she needs food. She also needs transportation, because her car had just gotten repoed because she couldn't pay for it, and
Oh.
then also
Mm.
had needed home repairs. And so we brought in, for that, we actually brought in the Christian Motorcycle Association. They came in and actually did these home repairs for
Great.
her.
Yeah.
We had a
Uh-huh.
group, a ministry out of Delray Beach, Florida, come in. It's called Wheels from the Heart. They actually gave
Oh.
her a car, and they gave her a car and all these ministries. But the whole point of this is not really the physical needs. Those were the physical needs. What we're
Right.
really going after in the show is the spiritual needs. What are the
Spiritual
spiritual
needs.
needs? Well, her
Mhm.
husband was a Christian, and he had been he had been working on his wife to get her to come to church, but
Mhm.
she was still very, very resistant to that. And so we bring in John, and John goes over the gospel after getting all these things from the ministries and stuff. Then John goes into the gospel with her, and actually she gets saved. And then we bring in a pastor from Celebrate Recovery, and she gets into Grief Share, and then
Praise the Lord.
they also get her into church. So
Oh,
this is the goal of that show, is to
yes.
really help a family in
Oh,
need. and get them back, where they need to be with Christ.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Putting shoes to that faith.
Exactly.
Yes. And oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And so, just want to ask you something about in your faith story you were talking about. So, um, you had mentioned just before we went on about forgiveness,
Yes,
uh,
yes,
and how does that play? How did it get to be, forgiveness for
yeah.
you in
Well,
your
well,
children?
and for my mother and for all
Yeah,
concerned. Yeah. Well, many years passed. A lot of hurt and a lot of stuff went on through those years, and
yeah,
I mean, a lot of hatred and stuff went on. But later on in life, my mother actually reconnected with my father. Not in a husband wife relationship, but in a
right.
friendship relationship. They
Well,
actually
good.
connected and were able to forgive each other. And my mom would go to family outings with his family. I mean, with his extended grandmother and his family when they would have things. She was
Right.
actually invited to participate into some family reunions type things. So they actually did reconnect and were able to forgive each other
Good.
years after. And of course, as kids, we forgave, and that opened a lot for us.
Oh, I'll tell you, forgiveness just
Yeah.
frees you up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it did that for both of them.
Yes, I could see where you might harbor a lot of hurt feelings there for a long, long time. But I am so glad that you have forgiveness there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm sure a lot of folks maybe watching this may can identify with that, and but it is important for you to forgive.
Yes, yes. And another thing is, parents, don't do that to your children.
Mm,
Think about your children before you start
mm.
into some crazy custody battles or start kidnapping
Yeah.
your kids and doing all
Yeah.
this. Think about them. Think about what you're putting them through.
Right.
And what that's going to do to them later on in life. What kind
Hmm.
of scars it may give them.
Hmm.
They have to work hard to overcome. So just think about
Yes.
your kids. Just don't be selfish and think about, oh, I want my kids. Myself.
Yeah.
Think about what you're putting your kids through.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because that certainly, uh, of course, you grew up and found the Lord,
Yeah.
and and have the faith and everything.
Yeah.
But so
That's right.
many children grow up because doing what their parents did because that's all they knew
Yes.
to do.
Absolutely.
So, but yes, thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing that faith story. Now, Win TV, if you can speak just a couple of minutes maybe on Win TV, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, yes, that's our new project, and
Yes.
praise God.
Mm,
Yeah, I was so blessed to meet five other like-minded people
mm,
that were wanting to do something on a much larger scale than just one network, and I met them actually at the Content Festival, Film Festival 2021 to 2020, Content
uh-huh.
2020. Yes, I met them, and we just kind of it was just a natural flow. We just came together and shared our ideas of what we each, because several of us already had networks going,
Right. Right.
Taken TV, and then another one is Alpha Omega, and then we're working on another one was working on the Women's Network. So we just brought ourselves together and were able to talk about what we wanted for our network that we really couldn't do um, because we were, obviously didn't have the funds or just one person.
Yeah,
So as a collaboration, we were able to come together and create a lot of stuff that we wouldn't
that's
be able
great.
to normally create. And with Michael Carnes, he has connections with funds that will help fund the network.
Good.
And of course, we're taking donations. We're open, so
Absolutely.
you can actually go to wintv.world, and see what it's all about. And there's actually going to be links there if you would like to make a donation. Um, and hopefully, we're looking at a possibly an early or late fall launch.
Uh-huh.
We're real excited about that because there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be funding for things that we couldn't normally do on our own. And one of the shows that that's really next to my heart that I want for Taken TV that we haven't really been able to do yet is with it's called Rescuing Our Children, and it's a show. Yes,
Awesome.
it's going to be a wonderful show. It's about
Awesome.
crimes against children, basically,
Yes.
and we go into it. We you kind of like look at America's Most Wanted with John
Uh-huh.
Walsh, you know. So this
Mm-hmm.
is like America's Most Wanted for children, for crimes against children. So we kind of investigate, tell about the crime, and then try to you know put pieces together
Yeah.
to either get a perpetrator maybe arrested or whatever, or just
Right.
expose what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a show that we're looking forward to doing, you know, with funding.
Well, good. All
Mhm.
right. So you're actually going to be producing some shows
Oh
as well.
yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
All
We're going
right.
channels, shows, the whole deal. Yeah.
Oh, man. All
Mhm.
right. Well, I will certainly. I put up. I did the HTTPS www.wintv.world. I've
Okay.
already put that up in the links here, and I think you have a link for Taken
Yes,
Network as
yes, yes.
well.
Our network, which is takennetwork.tv. Takennetwork.tv. And
Dot TV.
yes, that's our
Okay.
website that tells about our some of our programming that's on our network. And it also has a link that you just click watch now, and that actually takes you to our web app, which has all of our programming on it. So you can see everything that's on there. You can also view our network on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and both mobile apps for Apple and Android. So we're
Yeah,
available on a lot of different platforms.
I've got Taken on my Roku TV.
Okay. Praise
Yeah.
praise
Yes. 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 So I get to see a lot of shows on there. It's a
Mhm.
great network. Great
Thank you.
network.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I
Yes.
enjoy watching shows on that.
Great.
And so, will Win be the same way? Will I get to have Win TV on my Roku?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah. So it'll be Win TV, and then you'll have like possibly 100 channels under
Yes.
that are faith-based and family-oriented channels.
Yes, 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 yes. And I don't know if you can see the comments here, but Todd Shoemaker is on, and he
Oh,
says,
great.
"Good morning
Good morning.
from Jupiter, Florida." And then he says, "Barry is a wonderful man of God."
Oh, praise God. Thank you, Todd.
Yes,
Todd's a
yes.
wonderful man of God, and what a testimony he has.
Okay. All
Him on
right. Yes. Well, we want to thank you for watching this morning, and thank you, Barry, for your faith story and for telling
there.
us about some good alternative family entertainment that's faith based. And we'll just give you prayers. And of course, if you want to support, certainly go to these websites
Yes, please.
and be able to do that. Thank you again for watching, and remember, have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. God bless. Bye.